Yesterday I took my grandson, who was nearly 3 years old, to the park. He played with other children who were there regardless of the colour, race or language. There's no concept of treating other children differently. Hatred is not inborn, it's learned. This is Manchester 2014. The children play together and they've nothing to fear. Not so in Gaza. Missiles have struck several sites in Gaza, including a park inside a refugee camp. 8 people, including 7 children, died following a missile fire in a park inside the Shafi refugee camp on the edge of Gaza City. The children were playing on a swing when the strike hit the park. The kids were playing on a wheel. A rocket fell and cut them apart. And you're playing with your own grandson, and to listen to think that could be you. It does matter. The Israeli army swiftly denied it had anything to do with it. They tweeted that a misfired rocket from Gaza had hit the playground. We had no activity in the area, they said. We know it was launched from within Gaza and landed short, an Israeli spokesman said. However, Hamas denied it had fired any rockets in the area and said it was categorically an airstrike by Israel. It said it had collected shrapnel from the scene that could prove it was from an Israeli munition. How has this happened to innocent children that they've been targeted? Jon Snow was recorded on Channel 4 an emotional speech to camera, which you can see on YouTube, following his trip to Gaza. You can also listen to Sir Gerald Kaufman, who couldn't be here today, who is constantly talking about Gaza. And as a Jewish man himself, he has received death threats and letters and emails on a daily basis because of his stance on it. And you can look at it on YouTube. Jon Snow talks about the youth of the area's population, where 250,000 are under 10 years old. The idea of the looseness of a war zone, that you can control your children, that they won't be somewhere that can be hit, is beyond any kind of imagination. According to the Sheba Hospital, the current death toll is only 166. We know it's much higher than that, and 1,000 have been severely injured. These statistics only count children as being 0 to 14. 15 to 17-year-olds is classed as adults, and that's why the figure is wrong. So the true figure then of child deaths and casualties is much higher. Jon Snow challenges those who say that this is nothing to do with us. He says, in some way, we share some of the responsibility for those deaths, because for us it's not a priority whatsoever to stop it. Our United Nations, our government, our world is not that interested. We must be interested. We must not think it's nothing to do with us. The UN Security Council called for an immediate and unconditional humanitarian ceasefire. Breaking news this morning is that the ceasefire talks are about to resume as all male delegations, not one woman, returns to Cairo. There's no deal in sight 2 days before the Gaza ceasefire expires. The talks resume today and the 5-day ceasefire expires at midnight on Monday. The Palestinian People's Party have said that the chances of reaching a long-term ceasefire are not great. They accuse Israel of using the talks to organise and reproduce the siege in a different way. Meanwhile, children continue to die. As a mother and a grandmother, I cannot stand by and watch and say that this has got nothing to do with me. I feel the pain of mothers such as Shadia, who saw her daughters brought out on stretchers. They were cut into pieces. Shadia said she couldn't recognise the faces, just the clothes. They had to bury 9 bodies together in one grave because they couldn't separate the pieces. Israel must look at its own history and ask itself, why? Why would they not learn from what happened to them? That they could kill innocent children, and David Cameron is doing nothing. The British and American governments are propping up this Israeli regime. Shame, shame! Be free Palestine! Be free Palestine!